I salute you all, your excellencies, and honorable members in your distinguished portfolios and capacities, British Daniels, Mazinga Juko, President of FLS Uganda Tours and Commander-in-Chief of the Liberation Struggle Trust Uganda from the abusive, corrupt, oppressive, dictatorial, black-to-black apartheid regime of Yoweri Museveni and his NRM's extremist military rulership in Uganda. I would like to present our mission to you. It is not intentionally for a personalized authority or individual, but the whole spectrum of the authorities concerned with democracy and human rights, and as far as Uganda is concerned. We have issued uh, detailed information in writing that we're taking these 2 months, August and September, and the first week of October, we are going to hold Yoweri Museveni head-on by the people of Uganda, where we would have loved to have you on board. I would like this address to be extended to United States, European Union, Britain, the World Muslim League, and all Islamic countries, East African region, and Ugandan community in Uganda and everywhere in the world. In the first place, I will begin with the United States. United States has been very close to Uganda, and we know well that you have been in touch, you have been concerned with the atrocities that are done by Yoweri Museveni to the people of Uganda, but you have never acted decisively. You have never acted rightfully to help us to remove Yoweri Museveni out of power. You continued to talk about human rights abuse, atrocities against mankind, and you stopped there. Henceforth, we are saying, if United States is interested in seeing Museveni using its military aid to Uganda, and Museveni uses it to kill people, to torture, and to continue using such atrocities with the United States military aid to Uganda against the people of Uganda, if you're interested in that, then you can stay. If you're not interested in that, you can come on board to assist us. We are left with only 2 months to take Museveni by the horn. If United States, you're interested in putting your financial aid to Uganda as a gift to Yoweri Museveni's pocket, you may stay there. If you're not interested that actually your money that you give to Uganda is to help the people of Uganda and development of Uganda, then you can come on board. Similar to Britain, if the British government feels that all the military aid to Uganda is meant for the security of Uganda and the people of Uganda, and yet Museveni is using it to kill the people of Uganda, if you're not interested in that, we are calling you on board. This is the high time that we take Museveni out of power. If you're interested in seeing the money that you give as aid to Uganda is put in Museveni's pocket and cronies, you may stay behind. You may stay back, don't come. But if you're not interested, we are calling you to come on board. To the European Union, we are saying, if you're not interested, actually European Union has authority and the authorities of different countries that make up the European Union. If you're not interested in your donations and loans to Uganda is put in Museveni's hands instead of the projects that you aimed at, then you can come on board. If you're interested in continuing with the status quo, you're free not to come. If you're interested in seeing Ugandans dying by the bullet because of the dictator, you are free to stay behind or stay back. If you're interested in seeing Uganda with democracy and freedom for all, we are calling upon you to come on board. The World Muslim League, we have a problem of the regime of Yoweri Museveni against Muslims ever since it started. I want to take this opportunity to inform you that Yoweri Museveni has, for this time, killed more than 12 Muslim leaders, the sheikhs, gradually. His hate of Muslims is not known. He has put too many Muslims, young men and women, in prisons and maximum prison on fabricated charges. Actually, Islam may easily die off in Uganda, and many have run out of the country. We are calling upon you. We need help, because the only solution for this is your help, that we push this man out of power. This goes to Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Yemen, Morocco, Egypt, Nigeria, Tunisia, Libya, Algeria, and all countries with the Muslim community and all Muslim community in the world. We need your help to push the killer out of power. For Muslims in Uganda, I want also to call upon you to be very much responsible. By now, you'll be mobilizing people, young men and women, that by the time that we want to push Yoweri Museveni out of power, you'll be on the first page. Most importantly, we would have loved to collect or to mobilize funds that will use in this action. We need to mobilize funds and logistics that will use in this function. Henceforth, I call upon all the members of the European Union, the authority of the European Union, the authority of the United States, the authority of African Union, the authority of all countries that are responsible and concerned with democracy, freedom, and rights of the people to come forth. Right now, I'm presenting this address publicly, but you can come into secret to our inbox, fld.democracy@gmail.com. We have written details and we submitted to you through your embassies and commissions. I think you have the details rightfully. I submitted it last week. Every one of you has got it. If you didn't get it, you can come to our inbox by email, fld.democracy@gmail.com, and request for the document. It's a 2-page, and you read and you know exactly what we want, which help we want from you individually or as an authority. To the people of East Africa, the East African countries, I mean Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Southern Sudan and Uganda, and also DRC Congo, which has also got injured by the same regime. I call upon you. We need help. Tukutane pamoja, tusaidiane, tufukuze chisilani. The only problem in East Africa is caused by Yoweri Museveni. Let me start with Rwanda. Yoweri Museveni wanted to control Rwanda and put a lot of problems there. He even supported the rebels that want to fight Kagame. Kagame realized it quickly and avoided it. That's now why you see they're bickering and they're not at par anymore. The problems that happened in Burundi is Yoweri Museveni. The problems that are happening in DRC Congo for the last 30 years is Yoweri Museveni. That's why you see there is no any civil war or rebellion that ever happened from the western side of DRC. All the problems and conflicts happen from the eastern side of DRC, and that's Uganda. There is no way that it came from a different direction. And what happens there is sponsored and agitated by Yoweri Museveni of Uganda. So the people of DRC, His Excellency Tshisekedi, you can join us in sorting up the whole program, the whole problem of DRC by pushing the dictator out of the Great Lakes region. The problems in Southern Sudan that ended up even assassinating John Garanga, it's Yoweri Museveni. It was not just somebody the way they make the information that the helicopter lost radar. It was man-made. And continually, Yoweri Museveni has been giving military weapons to mature as well as kill, so that they fight continually. They fought continually for decades because of Yoweri Museveni, up to now. And he thinks he can control the whole Great Lakes region, Southern Sudan, Burundi, Rwanda, Tanzania, and DRC and Kenya. Actually, recently, Yoweri Museveni has been having a lot of secrets with the deal to control Kenya. And actually, for the last 20 years, Yoweri Museveni has been having his spies and espionage in Kenya. I don't know whether the government knows, but I'm real sure that they have sensed something because of what happened yesterday, that they stopped the deputy president to go to Uganda. Actually, I think now Kenya has realized that point. But what I want to tell you that Yoweri Museveni wanted to control all of East Africa and the whole Great Lakes region. But he's not a person who can control in harmony, but to kill, to bring wars, to bring conflicts. So I think the Kenyan government, as much that has realized what is happening, I think it will talk to other counterparts in East Africa that we can come together and push the enemy out of East Africa. The enemy is only Yoweri Museveni. I think even these politicians who are continuing to follow Yoweri Museveni are following him because he's there. If we put him out of there, they won't, because they think he's a good person. But if we who know that is bad, if we pushed him out, they won't fall suit of his treachery. And I think Kenya will be on our first page to mobilize the East African community to get onto this. I'm just requesting. Otherwise, if we don't hurry to take this man out of power, it's the more we'll have problems in East Africa. So I call upon all the Swahili nation, wandugu, tusaidiane, tukutane pamoja, tufukuze hiyo kisilani. When you go to Somalia, it's Yoweri Museveni, who was put by a mission, United States and Britain paying a lot of money, and he takes the money into his pocket. He leaves the soldiers that he put there hungry, and they started even selling chakra with Al-Shabaab people. So they have a coordination, and it ended up that even the weaponry that Al-Shabaab uses in Somalia is provided by Yoweri Museveni soldiers. So it's provided and promoted by Yoweri Museveni. He can stop today, and they start after 6 months that Al-Shabaab came, continually more than 10 years. I don't think that if we had a very rightful thinking, we could continue to say Yoweri Museveni is keeping Somalia. You cannot keep a country for 10 years. If it's peacekeeping mission, I think Somalia would have been kept for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years maximum, while they are training their own soldiers. But simply Museveni Liu was all the West and the African authorities that he can manage the country for 10 years, and you can accept. Actually, I wrote to the United States and Britain in January after elections in Uganda that the only way, because they were talking about Museveni to be wrong in atrocities and human rights abuse. Then I wrote about the article. I wrote it in a petition to the United States and Britain that the only way that you can be decisive on Yoweri Museveni is to give, him a way out from Somalia. Chase him away from Somalia so that you can completely decide, because right now you're holding on to him, that is helping you to keep peace in Somalia. So as to also be defended by you. So the only way to have a conclusion about Yoweri Museveni is to have no contract with him. Then you'll have a final conclusion that he must leave power. Otherwise, if we continue to have some contracts with you where you pull a lot of money, you won't have conclusion about him leaving power. So I wrote it in January, and I don't know whether I got it, but I know the emails that I passed this in letters were perfect. If you got it, it's right. Fortunately, I heard that towards March, you decided that the mission should get out. But how long did you take? Like, we're dumb. 10 years somebody's keeping peace. As if the country doesn't have people to train for its own soldiers. That one was erroneous. So Museveni must completely be isolated from Somalia. Even IGAD should isolate Museveni from Southern Sudan if you want Southern Sudan to be safe, Somalia to be safe, Burundi to be safe, Rwanda to be safe, DRC to be safe, Uganda to be safe, Kenya to be safe, Tanzania to be safe, Museveni must be isolated, and the authority that he uses because he's holding on to power must end now. That's our submission. Most importantly, we need help, financial help and logistics. We need financial help because we cannot just go for massive uprising because the mad person, Museveni is a lunatic. He can kill all the people on the street. So we're planning that we must have backup forces. When our people are going onto the streets, we should have backup forces. When Museveni reacts with heavy military against the people who are not even holding any weapon, or the backup forces will come against him. We have been looking for them. We have some hopes, and also asking from the West also to give us more backup forces. Though we have the backup forces, 2 of them, that will need finances and logistics. So we are requesting for also some help in finances and logistics from United States, European Union member states, African countries, most especially the East African countries. You do it secretly through our email, fld.democracy@gmail.com. You write us, then we'll give you direct contacts where we can telephonically discuss and telegram calls, or we can have meetings on Zoom that are completely secret. So we're calling upon all African countries that wish Uganda to have freedom and democracy, East African countries, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, DRC, and others, to get on board, to help each other in pushing the dictator out of power. We are hoping that every concerned authority like European Union, Britain, and United States, African countries will come on board secretly to contact us, and we get it. We have only 2 months that we have scheduled. That's why we decided that we make a whole spectrum address virtually to every one of you. I wish those who have not heard it now, they will hear the message in due course. The full detailed message is written in the submitted mails, petitions that I've sent to you last week, towards the end of July. I sent it to you. Now, for the people like China, Russia, United States, North Korea, Israel, and other countries that have got contracts in Uganda, most especially China, and those that will need to have contracts in Uganda, this is your message. Contracts that you have made with Uganda will remain contracts with Uganda, regardless to whether Museveni is there or not. But if you show us that your contract is basically because Museveni is there, then when he goes, because he must go, whether you come to help us or not, he will go very soon. But if you don't come on board and say, yes, you have a contract, and now it's because Museveni is the president, you are doing it with him, but you come secretly to us and say, what do you want for help? So that when we push him, we'll reserve you. Otherwise, if you think that it is only because of Yoweri Museveni that should have a contract in Uganda, then when he goes, don't claim. So I call upon you, whoever got interest in Uganda, contracts in Uganda, businesses in Uganda, and all the development partners, we need your help, and we'll reserve you in our forthcoming business dealings with you. Otherwise, if any of you think that the contract and the businesses and other dealings that you have with Uganda is because of Yoweri Museveni alone, then when he goes, you will also go. So it's high time to secure your future by yourself. What we need you to do is to help us with finances and logistics. We don't need anything from you, and you can do it secretly. Though I'm mentioning it publicly today, you can come and we talk some secrets inbox. That's my message to all those who have got contracts, those who have got businesses, those who have got oil contracts, mineral contracts, construction contracts, and other businesses. Otherwise, if you dare think that it's only your M7 to be considered Uganda with your businesses, then you are in for it. So it's the high time you determine your own destiny. The onus is on you. Lastly, I want to call upon the people of Uganda generally. Mobilize. We have given Museveni these 2 months honeymoon, but starting the first week of October, it should be head on. We're going to hold him head on. Prepare yourself for a massive uprising. But we said we're going to first of all go for a national shutdown of 4 days. Then thereafter we go for a full-scale million massive uprising. And this will be the end of Yoweri Museveni. Actually, this information should go also to the whole spectrum and the whole globe, that October is a month that we need Yoweri Museveni to leave power, or we will help him to leave power by that month. And that's why we are saying we need your swift response to this address. I thank you very much. Asante sana.